A report by the UK Guardian newspaper has revealed how Donald Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, added a journalist in the Signal group chat about plans for U.S. strikes in Yemen. As per the report, Mike Waltz mistakenly added Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor of The Atlantic, thinking it was someone else. The mistake traces back to October 2024 during the Trump campaign and went unnoticed for months. Goldberg had emailed the Trump campaign about a story critical of Trump's treatment of veterans, The Guardian reported. The Trump team asked Mike Waltz, their national security expert at the time, to help push back on the media story. Jeffrey Goldberg's email, which included his phone number, was forwarded to Trump's spokesperson Brian Hughes, who copied it into a text message sent to Waltz. Although Waltz never contacted Goldberg, his iPhone accidentally saved Goldberg's phone number under the contact name for Brian Hughes, who is now the spokesperson for the National Security Council. And months later, Waltz accidentally added Goldberg to a Signal group chat about Yemen strikes, thinking it was Brian Hughes. The group chat, named Houthi PC Small Group, reportedly included sensitive military planning conversations against the Yemen-based rebels. An internal review by the White House IT office confirmed how Goldberg's number got saved. As per the report, the White House said that the number was mistakenly saved during a contact suggestion update on Waltz's iPhone. This feature uses an algorithm that can link a new number to an existing contact if it thinks they're connected.
Thank you, Chairman. General Hawk, the NSA recently warned its employees not to use the Signal app. Is that correct?
What we did, Congressman, is we put out cybersecurity advisories on a whole host of systems.
On the Signal app that was included in that advisory, right?
What we've done is we've put out an advisory on how to use the Signal app and other encrypted applications, because we do encourage our employees and their families to use encrypted.
Because there's risk to that app.
There are.
Okay. General Cruz, DOD also issued a warning about vulnerabilities to the Signal app recently, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Director Gabbard, you were on this Signal text chain in question, correct?
Yes.
As was Mr. Witkoff, the administration's lead negotiator with the Russians, correct?
Yes.
And at the time, Mr. Witkoff was actually in Russia during this chat discussion, was he not?
I was not aware of that.
Was he on his personal phone at the time?
I don't know.
Well, it's my understanding that he was indeed in Russia. Director Gabbard, you were also traveling during this discussion, correct?
Yes.
And where were you?
I was traveling through the Asia-Pacific region. I don't recall which country I was in at that time.
You don't remember the country?
I'd have to go back and look at the schedule.
Director Gabbard, I want to direct your attention again to the text chain where it says, just confirmed with CENTCOM, we are a go for mission launch. Does that indicate to you that there is about to be a military operation?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, earlier in this hearing, we heard about the DOD's classification standards. I want to now turn my attention to your classification standards. You're the Director of National Intelligence. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence classification guide says, quote, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing for an attack, end quote, is to be classified as top secret. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, have the Houthis indicated an ability to shoot down American aircraft?
Yes.
They have in fact done so, haven't they?
Yes.
Including MQ-9 Reapers, haven't they?
That's correct.
And that was one of the systems used in the attack recently that's the subject of this discussion, is it not?
Correct.
General Cruz, are you familiar with this system?
I'm not wearing my glasses at the moment, but...
Well, I'll help you out. This is an SA-3 anti-aircraft system.
Correct.
Are you familiar with this next system?
I am.
What is it?
I'm going to have to ask you.
It's
to
an
help.
SA-6.
I'm going to guess that
This is also an advanced anti-aircraft system, is it not?
it is. It was used widely in the Balkans in the 90s, correct?
And the Houthis also have this system, don't they?
They certainly do.
And they've employed it against our aircraft, have they not?
They have attempted to, correct.
I spent my life in service to this country. I deployed 3 times to combat in service to this nation. I learned in that time in service that responsibility is core to leadership. You accept responsibility when things go wrong. You admit mistakes. You set the standard from the very top. It is completely outrageous to me that administration officials come before us today with impunity, no acceptance of responsibility, excuse after excuse after excuse, while we send our men and women downrange to do incredibly difficult, incredibly dangerous things on our behalf. And yet, nobody is willing to come to us and say this was wrong. This was a breach of security and we won't do it again. It is outrageous and it is a leadership failure, and that's why Secretary Hegseth, who undoubtedly transmitted classified, sensitive operational information via this chain, must resign immediately. There can be no fixes, there can be no corrections until there is accountability, and I'm calling on the administration to move forward with accountability. I yield back.
You know, I associate myself with the comments of my colleague, Congressman Crow. I'm deeply disappointed in how we're handling this breach of protocol and so forth. You know, every year at the beginning of Congress, we take an oath to office. You know, this is an awesome responsibility to be a member of Congress, to protect our country. We have no greater responsibility than to protect our homeland. And, you know, when I walk into this committee and the honor of being on this committee, I don't see Democrats and Republicans. I see folks that every day want to do the same thing. But as Congressman Crow suggested, the mark of leadership, and we all are leaders in this room, is to accept responsibility when mistakes happen. And that signal chat was a mistake. I'm not here to impugn your character. You were all nominated by the president. You were all confirmed by the president. But we have an awesome responsibility and incredible responsibility to the American people. And then given that we are the United States of America, we have a responsibility to the world. And this really was a breach of protocol. I'll take you at your word that we are going to do a full investigation of it. Our responsibility as oversight is to understand this breach, understand who leaked information, how that happened, and then hold those responsible. You know, I 100% agree with the chairman in his opening statement. He said, where trust is breached, those responsible need to be held accountable. So do I have, you know, Director Gabbard, we served together, we came into Congress together. Do I have your word, when this investigation is fully completed, we will get the full breadth of the investigation?
Thank you, Congressman. That would be my intent. I will caveat that by saying that this is being conducted by the National Security Council. I've not gotten any indication that they would try to withhold that, but I can't speak for them.
Okay. I also, you know, I see way too much politics when it comes to our national security and our national defense. We've got to keep politics out of this. We're not Democrats or Republicans. We're Americans. We're tasked with the responsibility of keeping our country safe. Director Gabbard, you have an awesome responsibility here to advise the president, to collate all the information, everything that the IC is providing, and provide that best advice and guidance to the President of the United States. We have to keep politics out of this. Even if the President disagrees with this, if it goes against his personal wishes, if he's considering an order that potentially is unconstitutional or illegal or compromises our security, I want your word that you will always provide and give that honest advice to the President, even if it will make him angry.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate the question because, as you said, I do take this responsibility very seriously. And it was my commitment to the President, to the Senate, the American people, that that as the Director of National Intelligence, I will ensure to provide the President and all of you as policymakers with that unbiased, relevant, and timely intelligence. And to your specific question, the answer is yes. I will inform the President of that accurate, timely, unbiased intelligence reporting, whether it is something that agrees with an assumption or a view or an objective or not. That's my responsibility to him and to the American people.
Great. I would just offer advice. In your role, what you do on your personal devices versus your official devices, you're speaking to the public, and I would just offer, as I conduct myself, what I say personally is always going to be considered Congressman Barra saying it.